Everybody would rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening and welcome. First thing on our agenda this evening is a public hearing. So I will call the public hearing to order. The Waterboro Board of Selectmen will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, August 17th, beginning at 6 p.m. to receive comment regarding a moratorium on solar energy at Waterboro Town, at the Waterboro Town office. Public comment. Public hearing will be aired on local cable station Channel 5 or 1302 and live streamed on the town website. And we have checked. We have not received any comments from through email anyway. So we have. So I will open this up to, let me give you just a little background. This is a definition of this is an ordinance, not just a moratorium, but it is a solar ordinance, and it, in essence, will take place for 180 days to, I guess, stop or at least effectively delay any future solar farm proposals that might come before the planning board, so that they will, unless it's approved by this date, this will extend a delay of a 180-day period before the planning board or anybody else takes up a potential additional solar farm, or solar panel, whatever we're talking about. But we're talking about the large commercial type farms. There's been 3 approved within the community thus far. The one over in South Waterboro that's off from Route 202 and kind of in the corner of Strawmill Brook Road. The one that's across from Dunkin' Donuts on Route 5 up on the hill. And then the third one was on McLucas Road. So this effectively will put a moratorium on any future applicants, and it actually goes back to it's retroactive to August 4th, which is the first meeting that we've talked about this. So I would open it up for any public comment. Sensing none, any comments from the board?
I have just a question.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that the solar panel on the McLucas Road, I guess I'd direct this to Mike, is kind of dead in the water, or is that still moving forward?
We haven't heard anything as of yet, so that's a very good possibility.
Okay. So still
up in the air.
Okay.
But they have an approved plan. They could.
Correct.
They could sell that or move it, transfer it to some
To a
other
different agency, but
Right.
it would still pertain to that parcel.
Right.
Okay.
And it would be in accordance with what was approved.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
And the permit for that expires does it expire at all?
It's just the planning board approval. There hasn't actually been a permit issued yet for construction.
Right.
Do they have a date from the planning board to you? Is there a timeline, or is it just, from the time the planning board approved it till you issue a building permit, is there a timeline there?
Not that I'm aware of. I can research into that and verify that, but I would assume that it would be the same as a permit. If there is no activity within 365 days, then that approval would go away. that's an
Okay.
assumption at this
Yeah,
point.
well,
I'll definitely double check into that and get you an answer back definitively.
No big deal, but have they got a timeline that they gotta get started?
It kind of is, we
Yeah.
should know that detail.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think if I remember and recall the findings of facts from the planning board on all three, I'm not sure that there was a timeline that said you gotta meet, a certain amount of completion by a certain date or anything else. And I guess I defer to Laurie in the back there I don't recall any
There was
constraints.
part of the approval, I don't know. I'd have to read the site review regulations to see if there's anything.
Yeah, I think it would default to the approvals, right, Mike?
I believe so.
I know years ago, from a conditional use from the planning board, they had 2 years to pull a permit, but I'm wondering if that's still that
That
game
is still the
plan,
case,
so.
yeah.
So we ought to at least know that, right?
Yep,
Because there's only one that's really active
Yeah.
today, right?
at this point, yes, correct.
Thank you.
They also have milestones that they have to hit by December 31st of this year for their IA to still be valid. So if they don't hit those milestones, their interconnection agreement essentially becomes null and void.
But that's with the state and the CMP and, or not necessarily CMP, but certainly their
Well, yeah, it's
agreement, right?
CMP would be there too, yeah.
Right.
So,
So, but that does, and I'm assuming that kicks off from the time they start.
there's a multitude of things that they have to
Yeah.
hit. So
I'm not sure where certainly the state is working with them, or any solar farm that's being developed to, I guess, make up the difference, I think everybody's, if you're a CMP customer, you're getting 3 or 4 notices a month about, hey, sign up for solar and we'll cut your bill by 15%. That's all being either federally or state funded to make up that difference. So I'm sure that that's all interconnected somehow. Because they have to have a commitment for usage, right?
yeah, they have to have somebody that, they have to have a purchase agreement, power purchase agreement. Yeah.
Anything else? Sensing nothing, I will close the public hearing and we will move on. Announcements. Any announcements from the board? I have none. Okay. I'll only make a quick one. I think most everybody is pretty much aware, but we are engaged in a recruitment effort for Gary Lamb's replacement as the next town administrator. Maine Municipal Association is running that executive search for the board. And if anybody is certainly interested in that, there are connections back to the website. Any applications have to go to Maine Municipal Association. If anything comes in here, that's not the link. The link has to go back to Maine Municipal Association in Augusta. So.
And just so the people watching on television, Mr. Boers is taking Gary's, he is the assistant, so he is in the office in the mornings, and you can get a hold of him from time to time, or an email to him.
Or reach out to Laura.
Right. Either way, to the town administrator or to the Laura, which is Waterboro, at Waterboro, right? Either way, Matt will be filling in for and serving as the, I guess you'd call it interim or temporary town administrator until we get through with the search, but I think the close is September 9th. The
believe it is,
date, I think it
yes.
is. So we'll see how that, what that garners for interest. So, any additions or deletions to the agenda? Anyone? We do have a couple of appointments. First appointment is for a long-serving selectman. Gordon Littlefield spent 12 years as a selectman on this board, and we'd like to recognize him. If Gordon would come up, and we'll present this. So get your pictures, get your camera ready. This one doesn't have a smiley face on it like yours does, but anyway, Gordon, for your years of service and appreciation for dedication and support of the town of Waterboro, its residents, staff, and communities. I want to thank you for all of you that you've done.
Thank you.
We'll wait the never, but congratulations.
Thank you. I have big shoes to fill.
All right. We also have an appointment with our contract deputies. I believe Levi is here tonight. Step up to the podium now, Levi. There's some questions in and around the ATV ordinance enforcement. Some, I guess, not so popular items left at Friendship Park, and the garbage and those kind of things. So, questions, comments? Dave, you want to lead into this? Or?
So, yeah, one of the biggest concerns that we're hearing, and it's is the Bennett Hill Road, specifically on the Bennett Hill Road with the ATV issues. We're trying to figure out what we can do collectively between the Sheriff's Office and the town for better enforcement on that. You had made a valid point about there's 3 different trailheads on Bennett Hill Road.
That's correct.
And if you're following the ATV laws, you're 1,500 feet from trailhead to trailhead.
Yes.
And I've noticed, both personally and professionally, as well as sitting on the board, the deputies are out on Bennett Hill Road a lot more. And I think, and I know we have some residents that frequent that area that are here tonight, please speak up, but I know the Sheriff's Office is doing a great deal of extra enforcement on Bennett Hill Road to try to accommodate some of those issues.
Comments? What do you see?
Well, I start work at 4 o'clock. I try to get there as soon as possible to try to catch ATV traffic. I haven't seen much the last couple of weeks. I think it's maybe starting to die down a little bit. I think maybe it's people don't understand or they're not familiar with where the trails lead, so they take the straightest route that they can. I've talked to a couple of people that I've seen passing trailheads, that would mean they're traveling just straight up. So they seem to just not know or not familiar with maybe the trails, so they have no idea where. So just education, I guess, is the biggest thing for people out there. But most of the people that I've seen aren't traveling down the middle of the road. They're to the far right, like they're supposed to be, on the far right side, driving safely. So, but I am, like you said, stepping up enforcement over there for sure.
Any other comments or questions from the board?
What's the issue on the garbage? Where did that come from?
I guess there's been some needles and
Needles and diapers were
yeah,
disposed of.
at Friendship Park, and I'm not sure that you guys can control all of that, but maybe the occasional and I don't know what time of day or whatever things like that happen, but
Probably the middle of the night. Every time I see a vehicle in there, I try to go in there and check on them. Usually it's juveniles out there in the middle of the night and just check on them and move them along. But I haven't caught anybody dumping trash yet, so hopefully those cameras can help with that. I actually had a question about Bennett Hill Road, Gary had mentioned there was some question about the legal ownership of the road, or what's the question about that?
Well, we're still contemplating that, but we'll let that, I guess, play out as we look at. I mean, I think, certainly the town has maintained the road for years.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to say that the town doesn't have any responsibility for the road when we continue to. In fact, in the next couple of days, it's going to be graded, correct?
Supposed to be.
So
That's what my contractor said to me.
Okay.
So I think that certainly I think without any further research of those kind of things, and I think some of those roads are being researched now.
Okay.
We've actually hired a gentleman to go to the York County deeds and all of that good stuff. So we'll see how that pans out. But I think based on just the precedent, I mean, the town has maintained the road.
Yeah, I've been treating it as a public way. So okay.
I would assume it is.
No, so
We hired somebody to do to do deed work.
Say what?
We hired somebody to do
Yes.
deed research.
Gary did that before we went. And not just that road, but he has the whole list of the 1955 town meeting.
Is it somebody local?
Trying to sort
Steve
out.
Ross.
Somebody
Yeah,
local, right?
Steve Ross was it.
So I'd also, before we close with Deputy Johnson, I'd just add that if anybody has any concerns or comments about the ATV issues here within town, or any other traffic-related issue or criminal activity, just reach out to the Sheriff's Office. Waterboro has 2 contract deputies, Deputy Johnson and Deputy Fay, but they're supplemented by the rest of the Sheriff's Office as well. So just reach out and communicate. It's not just a police problem, it's a community problem, and we're in it together. So reach out.
I will say that I think I've been working up on Deeran's Ridge for the last 2 weeks. There's a new group of young children or high school age kids that have got some dirt bikes that are probably doing more damage to that road than the 4-wheelers.
Okay.
And they're using the Bennett Hill Road too.
Okay.
So if a dirt bike is registered on road and can go off-road, okay, if they're registered, right, they're a registered bike, right?
Yes.
What is and I know that historically snowmobile trails and ATV trails are not supposed to be traveled by dirt bikes, but
Is that so?
I don't know if that's a law, right, or that's just an anecdotal.
Yeah.
I think that's just a prejudice against dirt bikes.
For a vehicle, for a dirt bike, or for a motorcycle to be registered on off-road, it has to come in compliance with Title 29A statute standards as far as headlights and blinkers and all that. And yes, they can travel on and off the pavement as well, so it's an on-off-road vehicle. But as far as dirt bikes being on specific trails, some trails don't allow any type of ATV access at all. It's just snowmobile only, and that's a huge problem, statewide with ATVs getting onto snowmobile trails and stuff like that. But we don't seem to have that problem here in town. So as far as I can tell, the ATV issues are minimal.
I think the vast majority of snowmobile trails are also ATV trails, right? Which is
The majority, yeah.
Some of them,
Yeah.
some towns aren't like that.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
very exclusive ATV
Right.
versus very exclusive.
But even here in
snowmobile trails.
town, we have some that are specifically snowmobile trails
Right.
only, yeah.
And that's based on landowner preference.
Exactly, yeah.
I just have one other. Around the lakes, roads immediately surrounding the lakes, there are a lot of golf carts
Okay.
that are driving on the road. And it's not necessarily licensed adults driving the golf carts. So there have been some concerns about people just coming right out of driveways that are 12-year-olds driving golf carts on some of the roads. So just an FYI there, but I think that's probably pretty dangerous.
Yes.
So Thank you for everything you do.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Okay? Any other questions, comments? Thank you, Levi.
Thank you.
Keep doing a good job.
Get back out there and do your stuff.
Even with the beard.
Yeah, he didn't have that the last time he was.
I know.
All right, under public comments, we do have a couple of ladies that would like to speak this evening, and it's in reference to Friendship Park, so introduce yourself. And
my name is Kelly Woodworth, and I started out looking at replacing Friendship Park sign with a new sign. It started out for Luke Stevenson, for the little boy, and Mark. And then it turned into some benches, maybe over by the ballpark, and then one over by the playground. And within 24 hours, I had probably 108 people message me on Facebook. This community is very passionate about this park and about this park's name remaining the name and what can be done for it. So I started looking at raising some money, and I'll tell you, financially, I have quite a bit of backing for a lot to be done. I went over to the park with Pete the other day, and it is in disrepair. It needs some trash cans. I'm not sure if the town does any sort of pickup for trash cans. It needs some new equipment. It just needs some upkeep.
TLC.
Yeah, it really does. And you know, people are coming out of the woodwork wanting to help, you know, manually, financially. I'm just one person. I kind of started with replacing the sign. I getting some quotes and some signs. So I don't know how you feel about, is this okay? I mean, to put some benches and to get the park up and running? Maybe some new equipment if it goes that far?
yeah, I don't think that certainly.
I'd like to see a committee, you know, it would help the town to get a committee involved with some
Yeah,
younger
and
families
that's
as
really,
well.
really something that, you know, kind of should be spearheaded with Todd Smith and maybe Pete.
Right.
And get things to.
I've been over to Todd Abbott, obviously.
No, I'm talking about Todd Smith.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And he's looking at a price for a sign, and I mean,
Yep.
I've talked to several people in town as far as money, and, you know, I think we can do great things. I probably already have enough for a sign and a couple of benches. We're also doing a bottle drive in town. I thought it would be great to get the kids involved in the community at JD's. You know, I think everybody wants to do something. But beyond the memorial, I think it would be great to do something with the park if people are using it. I mean, really, I mean, I've seen the cornhole Friday night, the place was packed.
It is.
And then the concerts, I think it's great. You know, I was there the other day walking around taking some pictures and stuff. There was a ton of trash on the ground. Raking hasn't been done, weed whacking. I think some of it's just getting some love,
Yeah.
to be honest. So I'd like to see a committee if they're up for it.
Yeah, we've you know, for years had a Parks and Rec committee, right? And that kind of has fizzled out over the past. So certainly, I think that, you know, it's not only that park, but, you know, there are numerous spots within the community that probably could use some TLC. So, you know, I think if folks are interested, we can always fire back up the Parks and Rec committee. They can have kind of an overview of everything that's being done, understand what all the properties are and whatnot. Not that you can, you know, take them all on, but, you know, certainly Friendship Park is going to be the focus. But
one other thing, I did reach out to, I thought it would be a great idea, just to kind of throw this out there. I know you're really busy. When you first go into the ball field, you look at a dugout that's just green. Everything's green. I reached out to the art department of M.R.S.A High School to see if maybe they could do something on that, like Friendship Park, play ball, I don't care what. I said be creative and see if the kids could do something to that space, just to make it look better, if nothing else. So.
yeah, the only thing that in Little League has their own little funky rules and stuff, so we just need to make sure that it doesn't, you know, doesn't conflict with what Little League
Right.
would expect it,
Yeah.
you know, a ballpark to look like, or
Mhm.
have, so. Good. Yeah, anybody that's interested, you know, we can, you know, hand out, get Laura, get some applications for joining the Parks and Rec Committee, and we'll kick that thing back off, and you know, I don't think that we've got to do a lot of interviewing for people that want to be on it, right? So.
So is it okay if I go ahead and order some benches then? And the families are gonna be the ones that are gonna design them?
Yeah, I think that certainly.
And a new sign, so.
There shouldn't be any reason that, that the benches couldn't at least get
And the new sign?
started and.
Okay.
and,
Because the sign is
then-
rotten, I mean, it's bad, it's falling
It
down,
is.
so.
You're right.
You're not
It's
gonna
a nice
change
park.
the design a lot.
Huh?
You're not gonna change the design a lot.
Well, right now it's painted white and it just has Green Friendship Park on there. The only thing that I asked Todd to kind of throw me some ideas,
Yeah.
like maybe some bright blues or something different for a color.
But it's still gonna be Friendship.
It's still
Park.
gonna say Friendship Park,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
It's- The benches are gonna be specific. Luke's gonna have a bench, Mark's gonna have a bench. They're gonna be very kid-friendly, park-friendly
Yeah.
benches. Yep.
Good.
That their families are gonna design what they want on them.
Yep.
I am gonna have my niece Amanda's sign put on the bottom of that Friendship Park, since she was the one who originally named the park.
Yeah.
The last time it was painted, that was taken off of there, and it would just be very small in the corner, like it was originally when the
Right.
sign was built,
Yep.
so.
Sounds like you have the board's support in your corner. And
Well, I hope so. I mean, I've done
Thank you.
some research this week. I mean, I think it
Yes.
can be great for, I mean, the outpouring of response has been huge.
Yep.
I was in awe,
Thank you for
really.
stepping up and doing
Thank
this.
you.
Good, appreciate it.
I don't think the garbage cans would be an issue either.
Well, if we
Right.
just get a pickup, I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's only in the
Yeah.
summertime, like once a week. And we'll even purchase the cans. They're like $600 a piece, but they're nice metal
Yeah.
cans. Yeah.
Get too overloaded with cash, we could use a pavilion to
Well, we'll see what we can do.
Thank
Don't,
you.
and don't forget, this Saturday is the York County Blues Festival.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, concerts have been great.
Tickets are on sale now for $15 or $25 at the door, right? Or at the gate.
Where can they buy their tickets?
Tickets are available here at Town Hall and the
Well, if you
rec.
want to put a can out for the Friendship Park and raise some money, that would be a great idea.
All right. Let's go on. Item 7, correspondence. We do have the treasurer's report, it's a motor vehicle report, the CTAM, which is the cable TV communications letter. You had Senator Woodsome's newsletter and Devin Mills' communications. So anybody's interested in seeing any of that, it's either, some of it's on the website, or give Laura a call and you can get a copy of that. Reports and staff initiatives, Selectmen's reports. Let's start to my right. Dwayne, anything?
I think we've discussed everything that I had, so, just a few complaints, so.
Yep. David?
I have nothing this week, so.
Mike?
The Little Ospey Lake Association had their meeting this past weekend at Camp Laughing Loon. And the lake is ultra healthy. Still remains to be one of the cleanest in the state, despite a lot of activity, but it seems to be resilient thus far, so.
Good.
I don't have anything to say.
They're still taking water samples and everything?
Yeah, they take, they do a sampling at the deepest part of the lake, which is about 78 feet. And everything looks very good.
Good.
So, we have no milfoil in the Ospey at this point. I know Lake Arrowhead is still addressing milfoil, and it's probably gonna be an ongoing
Yeah,
thing.
I'm not sure that they ever stop
Yeah,
addressing them.
right. It'll probably be a continuous thing, so.
Dana, anything?
I would just like to add a little bit to Kelly's stuff about the community. I think we have a very good community here. Thank you all for the help that they helped with the Waterboro Eagles. They raised a very substantial amount of money to help the families also. So I think everything that's happening for them is a very good thing. Thank you all.
Good. I'm all set, so Mr. Boers.
So I typed up a summary of where you were a couple weeks ago with Gary's last report. We tie those loose ends up. Middle school generator project, the bids were received. We opened those on August 2nd, we reviewed them. The bid was awarded to Banner Corporation. And they will start on that project, and it should run for the next 5 months. The hardest part is getting some of the supplies and equipment between now and the end of the year. So it should be wrapped up by January. Lions Field, we spoke to the electrician. They've been waiting on brackets and lights. No word on that, but he's hoping within a month. Or mid-September, I should say, sorry. Friendship Park, Dave Lowe will be installing another camera at the Snack Shack, or one of the small buildings, shortly, to hopefully help with some of the dumping that's down there. I already see you have number 4, the Legislative Policy Committee update. You have that on your new action items. We have 2 applications for the town planner. We need to review those. So Dennis has expressed interest in sitting on the interview committee. Is there anybody else from the Board of Selectmen that's interested?
I will, if needed.
So, yep, so Mike and Dwayne are both interested as well. From Public Works, and I think he may have already mentioned it, but Osby Hill Road dirt sections, the cross culverts all been replaced, ditching complete, waiting for the date for the base coat of asphalt to be installed. Grading of Bennett Hill Road dirt section is scheduled for Wednesday or Thursday this week, and I think you said that was changing a little bit, correct? Potentially?
Yeah. Questionable.
Questionable. In recreation, just a quick update, if you haven't heard, there's been a small outbreak of COVID at the Funergy program, and they won't be meeting for the next 2 weeks. They've tested the teens, the teen coaches, and they're negative, but I believe we're between 5 and 7. I think it was 7 last I heard. And just as an update also, Todd is looking at a potential individual from Parks and Rec that is interested in serving as the administrative assistant over there. And for the fire department, the ladder truck that we've had on order and been waiting patiently for has been rolled out of the building in Florida, and they've taken some pictures of it and sent them to us.
It's real.
It's real. It's getting real, yeah. We're hoping that we'll see that ship out of Florida within the next week and a half. It'll be driven up here. It will go to Brunswick, and then that's where they have to do the lettering in Brunswick and all that. They do it for the rest of the stuff at the factory up there. We will not be traveling to COVID Florida right now. This factory is half locked up, and you can peek through some windows right now, but I'm not interested in traveling 3 hours down to look in some windows and stay in the parking lot at 100 degrees down there. Not right now anyways. So they're gonna bring it up here. We'll do a virtual tour in a couple days, this Friday, and we'll look at it. The budgeted dollars that we had in there will be credited to us for equipment for the truck. So, and we ended up doing the same thing with the last engine. We completed the physical agility testing for the hiring process this week. So far, we've got 5 people that have 5 people that applied, and we invited to the physical agility. I'm sorry, we back up. 9 people applied. We had invited 5 to the physical agility, and 1 did not show, and the other 4 passed. So we have interviews next Tuesday for those individuals. And ISO will be here next Wednesday, the 25th, to perform a review for the insurance office. Hopefully we fare well and we'll make some improvements.
Okay.
That's all I got.
I'm going to jump back before we get into new business here, because we do have an addition to the agenda, and that is to approve the Solar Energy Moratorium. So why don't we add that as item C under new business, and if I can get a a motion to add that as 9C, and it's to discuss vote on the Solar Energy Moratorium.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? We'll add that to C. Running through this stuff, going, okay, where do we vote? So, anyway, so let's go into new business, discuss and vote on whether or not to reappoint the MMA Legislative Policy Committee to fill Gary Lamb's term. I guess we would have to have someone that would be interested in serving as the Legislative Policy Committee person. And then that's out of the Senate district. So the current Senate district, 2 representatives were Gary, and then Sanford has the ability to appoint 1, which I think, I'm not positive who it is. Okay. So I guess the question is do we go back out to, we have the right to reappoint someone, or we go back to the Senate district, other towns, and say, you know, we have nobody that's interested in serving, you know, is there someone else?
Yeah.
So, unless there's somebody that wants to raise their hand.
What are the requirements for this?
It's really, because I'm gonna suggest that, and I've been on it years ago, but it's probably 1 or 2 meetings a month when the legislature's in session,
Yeah.
right?
And that's a winter session and a summer session?
Yeah, well, you know, they're not in session now, right?
Right.
So,
Most of it, Gary had it laid out here a couple
Right.
weeks ago, but probably 4 or 5 trips to Augusta.
right,
I
so
believe
that's
most
the thing. So, if there's not someone that's on the board that's interested, then my suggestion is that we at least go back to the other Senate, towns in the Senate district.
You interested? No. I can see a smile on your face. I didn't know, but you was
You
interested.
got enough to do
Yeah.
without going to Augusta.
Does it offer us any leverage as a town to
No.
have somebody
No.
on there?
It just, it has, it's 2 people out of the Senate district.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
And
Just kind of
Gary-
flows the information back to us.
Right, so. And in the policy, you have a vote on the Legislative Policy Committee, which is the main municipal Legislative Policy Committee, whether, you know, to support a bill or not to support a bill, and then that goes to, I'm not sure that the House or the Senate take that into account, but that determines what bills are supported by MMA and which ones aren't. So if there's no one interested, then we'll pen a letter off if you want to take a note and say that to the other towns, it will have to go to, in the Senate district, to see if there's anybody interested in.
The Senate
Fulfilling
district
that.
covers Parsonsfield, Cornish, Limerick,
Part of Sanford,
part of Sanford, and
Waterboro.
Springville, Shapley, Newfield.
Right.
I think that covers them. Lyman may be in there, but I don't think so.
I'm not sure. Senator Dave could tell you anyway. Woodsome. All right.
Is it inappropriate for one of us to express an interest?
Oh, no. That's,
I'll
I guess
express
that
an
would be
interest.
So, I don't have a problem at all. If you're interested in it, then we certainly have the ability to reappoint someone, so if you have an interest,
How about if we
We'll wait till the next meeting.
put this on the next agenda, and if anybody from Waterboro is interested, that's listening,
okay,
please get
So
in
let's
touch
bring it
with
back on
Matt or
bring it back next meeting, Laura.
So we'll hold off on the letter then.
Okay. All right, Item 9B, evidently have a failing
No,
septic
okay.
system.
Yeah.
So, Mikey,
Yes,
you're up.
back in July 15th, we attempted to send a violation letter for a failing septic system, postmarked the 16th, we had 3 attempts, and it's just now coming back today, undeliverable, which is, obviously somebody's there. Just to give you a background, I brought some gory photos for you folks to see.
Oh, we always like to see septic.
Failing septic system.
Well, it's more along the lines to reiterate the importance of this. This is a significant health hazard. Oh, and I didn't make it up.
I'll share with Dana. Dana, you share with me.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Dana, you can
More
have
your
your
side than mine.
As I said, typically when we send a violation of this magnitude, you have 10 days to reply. Unfortunately, we
I know where it is. The
don't have
address,
proof of service
but where
yet.
is that development?
That, I guess I'd like to make a little segue before we get into this too terribly much as far as this specific violation. We have 4 violations currently that are in the same situation. I would like permission to pass these violations on to the Sheriff's Department for service, so that we can have proof of service to move forward with these violations. There's a number of fines, or a quantity of, there'll be a dollar amount associated with fines
Wait,
after the service is proved. Go ahead.
we've done just a handful of these, but my only suggestion is to hire a contractor and don't plan on Pete's crew to have to do that. It pulls them away from the public works, and we have done a couple of them within the public works, but I don't feel that I think we're better off with a contractor doing it. And it's,
But why would we be paying for that? Why would the town be
Well,
responsible?
the town has a abatement of nuisance procedure which says that if a domestic water system is failing, or domestic sewage system is failing, that we have the right to fix that and abate.
we're gonna put a lien on it.
We're gonna put a lien on it.
We're gonna put a lien on until it's paid, but,
Right now, the issue is proof of service.
yeah.
We have to get this notice out and our ticket signs saying that they were served, so that we can now in turn calculate fines and begin the 10-day timetable that they need in which to repair this or abate this condition that's a significant health hazard. As you can see through some of the pictures, the effluent that's escaping from the field is also pooling in a small bog hole in the middle of the development.
This isn't a development.
This is,
Without the address being named, yes,
Yeah.
yep,
right here.
yeah, the address, or let's use the tax map and lot number.
Yeah.
That's a little better. And as Mr. Abbott had mentioned, it's tax map 114210A, which is in a development right here locally. We do have the right, there are a couple ways for us to handle this after we have proof of service. We can serve them a notice from the select board, which is under statute 30A, M.R.S.A. 3428. You have some of this information in your packet. It's just a notice that states that this violation has been inspected by Mike Gilpatrick, the local plumbing inspector. The on-site sewage disposal system at the property was found to be malfunctioning and is a threat to public health and safety and welfare. Therefore, the system is hereby declared a nuisance pursuant to 30A M.R.S. 3428. And this order also states that if you do not comply with this order, the Board of Selectmen or any person they appoint as their agent may enter the property and cause the malfunctioning to be corrected. Any direct expense associated with this action may be recovered from you by a civil complaint or by special tax assessed against the property. That's one method. That's one method to deal with this after we prove service. The second one would be for me as the health officer to serve an order asking them to vacate the property. And under the current situation, meaning COVID, that may be problematic. I haven't looked into that exactly. I haven't looked into that, but then again, this septic system is significantly problematic. It needs to be repaired. So, it's the board.
Realistically, we're better off to go put a field in up there than we are to try to find them a rent.
In my observations from my site visit is, it's a very good likelihood that these people are not going to be able to afford, or have the financial means, rather, to replace the system. I may be shooting from the hip a bit there, but it was my impression that it may be problematic.
Okay. So what are you looking for, Mike, for us to endorse you going to Sheriff's Office, to York County Sheriff's Office to?
Yes, to go to contract somebody at the Sheriff's Office to serve them, and then ask for the board to make a decision on how to proceed.
So let's get them served, and then we'll come back at the next meeting, because you said we got 4 of them?
We have 4, but this is the most significant.
Right.
This is
All
the
right.
most
So
significant.
let's deal with, I mean, we're talking 2 weeks that we'd be back here to say, hire a contractor, right? Or whatever the case may be, or we can do that all in one vote here. I think that what you're looking for is to get the service done, right?
Correct. I would actually like to make a decision on which way we'd like to proceed as well, because as I stated in the beginning, this notice was originally sent out on July 15th. You know, that was over 30 days ago, and this unhealthy condition is continuing, needs to be abated. So, if the select board endorses this order, we can tailor it. You'll see in your packages that this is just a draft, and this is actually something that was taken from another community. So obviously, we would have to draft something that fits our community. And this also gives them 10 days to begin the process of abatement. This doesn't, after they're served with this order as well as the violation, it doesn't necessarily mean that we are slated. If they have the means to repair the system, they have 10 days to do so before the board chooses to act by hiring an agent or designating an agent.
So what you have there is returned certified mail, undeliverable,
Exactly.
and the residence is occupied?
The residence is occupied. It's, yes.
So if someone would like to make a motion to allow Mike to engage with the York County Sheriff's Office for service, or proof of service, and if we want to include in that we allow the appropriate time for it to be resolved, but if it's not, that we move forward with it by contracting someone to replace the system.
I will make that a motion.
Okay?
I'll second it.
Any other questions of Mike while we have him here? Sensing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Okay, sir,
Thank you.
you're on your way. Are there any other ones in this same
Wheelhouse?
subdivision?
No.
Okay, all right,
No.
all right. I didn't know whether it was problematic to,
If it was an installer issue? or-
yeah.
Well,
All right.
those are new enough houses, so the tank shouldn't be bad.
I'm
So just the
really
field has got to be
questioning
done, so.
why it's failing at all, but anyway. All right, 9C, discuss a vote on implementing the Solar Energy Moratorium.
So moved.
And do I have a second? Second. Any other discussion relative to that? Sensing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Done. Thank you. Old business, set auction date for all tax-acquired properties. What do we have for tax-acquired properties?
Christine and I have not had time to look at this, and this is the first thing that I was told at lunchtime that you were going to do this on the agenda.
So let's find out what we have, and then we'll set a date. How's that?
That sounds a lot better. Thank you very much. Hope to have I can have your information hopefully by the next meeting.
Okay, so we'll follow up with a listing of tax-acquired property.
Yes, sir.
And this was kind of driven by the one request for that big lot and whatnot, and kind of led to, one thing led to another, and we said, you know, when are we gonna auction things off, so.
Thank you.
Well, there was a comment made on that lot too.
Yeah.
But I think I got a visual of what did go on. And it all was one big tract of land, and that guy developed around it and left that 40 acres because he didn't want to develop it or couldn't get to it. And that was in the 80s, and just left that big.
Well, let's see what we've got.
If I could ask, you're talking 55, Mac 55, or not?
The one that we talked about last meeting.
Last
Okay.
meeting, yeah. That was Middle Road and
West.
West Road.
West Road and Middle.
Yeah, it's caught in the middle.
It's in the middle, all right.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of it, but
It's surrounded by all kinds of,
Nothing on the last agenda.
okay? All right, let's move on. Discuss a vote to approve the minutes of the August 3rd and the August 10th meetings.
so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Pending decisions. We're waiting on a concept review of the Elves contract zone request from the planning board. I think that's on your agenda tomorrow night. And waiting on the planning board consideration of adding bulk propane to the A&R district zones. I think that's on the agenda tomorrow night, right?
So we should have in 2 weeks, we'll put this back on the agenda and
Move on it.
move on it. Yeah,
Well, assuming that there's a decision tomorrow night.
yeah.
Okay. Anything else? We're gonna fire off a letter to the other Senate district towns, right?
I thought you were holding until next week.
Oh, okay.
This is my.
Sorry, you're right, you're
And
right.
anybody else in town that are interested?
Anybody else too?
Yeah. And I think, other than that, what do we want to talk about at the next meeting? See how Bennett Hill gets graded? It's 2 weeks, Pete. Come on.
I'm almost done haying, so I don't need to come down through there anymore.
All right, so we need signatures on the solar moratorium tonight. Other than that, I think we're good. Yeah, just have Mike keep us updated on the service that he's trying to affect. Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I would accept that motion.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Good night. Thank you for coming.